Hello, welcome to the channel. My name is Virginia. I'm going to do a daily message for you today. We are coming to the end of this collection of cards. We have Rider-Waite Tarot, the traditional tarot deck, and then we have Sacred Mothers and Goddesses, as well as the Ceccoli Oracle. Now, I did tap in, and what I heard was, I just tapped into my highest self, and I heard that we are in this space of grace right now. And what does that mean? To me, grace is like this divine gift. I'm gonna say it's a gift where everything can be received and held, and it's just a space of this beautiful, it's like a loving container. And I'm not exactly sure what the cards are going to tell us, but I'm sure they're going to tell us more, so we can understand exactly what that is, because I've been leaning into something around the space of grace for a while. And so to me, it's about having a space almost of refuge, right, for people, and a space of creation and things like that. That's what I've been looking actually to create in my own world. So let's ask these beautiful mothers, sacred mothers and goddesses, what is the inspiration for today? So this jumped up, but I'm going to take this one right here. Actually, I'm going to take this one too. It's so funny because there's three of them here. So maybe we'll just take all three of the goddesses that are coming out. So we have Hecta, Magic, and Crossroads. So this is a really interesting card because, as you can see, it feels like a little bit more of a darker energy. And I'm not that familiar, I'm ashamed to say, with the female goddesses. And maybe that's because they haven't been, gifted into the world, and we haven't learned about them through different stories and things. And it's a shame, because at least here in the United States, I mean, I've heard all about, Jesus and masculine versions, but not so much about the feminine version. So I'm going to go in here and find out what the book says about Hecate to give us a little bit more information. She's a Greek goddess and a protectress against evil spirits and the bringer of light to guide you through the darkness. So it's very interesting. I was hearing and seeing, it was one of the things that I asked when I was in my meditation. Like, I was seeing these kind of dark, like almost chaotic entities or something that were just buzzing around. And I said, what is that? And why is that like coming into my knowing? I don't know if you've experienced where you just like walk outside or you're in a space and you feel like something's there. But this was me, like with my eyes closed, I could kind of see it. And I literally saw, it's so funny because I think the universe really conspires to help us, which is why this card came out. 13 is a magic number. 1 and 3 create 4, which is stability. So Hecate is coming in to tell us that we're at a crossroads, to be able to be aware of what our magic is. And that's what we've had the magician all week. And this is showing us that the goddesses are here to provide new information. That's what I heard yesterday, new information coming in. And if you follow the channel, it's every day builds on the day before, it feels like. Not purposefully, but obviously it just is what ends up happening with the cards. So I saw all these entities, and funnily, I saw like a big like glass bubble around me, and they were all just like bumping up against it. Like, you know how you see a funny picture where the face is just sliding off the glass? That's what I was seeing, like all these things, and they were just keeping their distance. They no longer could affect me. And that's what this is bringing in. It's bringer of light. And not that the darkness is bad, but just that, little weird things can, I don't know, come into your world. So she's a friend of Persephone, the queen of the underworld, and is allowed to go to and from the underworld while Persephone spends her months there with Hades. She rules over dark passages in life, especially those that leave us at transformative crossroads. Yeah. So we've all been through times that have been a little bit confusing or sad, or that's what they mean by the dark times, right? So let's keep going here. She's recognized and honored as the goddess of many contemporary Wiccans, priestesses, and pagans. She is known as Queen of the Night for her connection to the spirit world. She is often invoked for communing with the dead and helping those who need a bridge to loved ones on the other side. Her companions are a black cat and a three-headed dog. So hopefully those don't scare you too much, those, ideas of that, because if they bring up fear, there is something else, right? No one can hurt us unless we believe they can. So that was like this image. Like I wasn't afraid of these weird little things that I was seeing, but I was like, what is all that? They just felt chaotic. Like they didn't know what they were doing either. And then when I saw the bubble around me and then they just kind of blopping up it. And then what I heard was just transform them into the light. So then I was imagining them like turning into little butterflies and then going out into the world and just flittering around and being a butterfly, just very light instead of the heaviness that I was feeling. So Priestess of Divination, really interesting. I don't think I've ever got this card out. I've had these two before, but this is 3 times this. So 3 times 13 is 36. So this is, I'm just going to read the message that says, all is not as it appears. Commit to a daily practice of working with the cards, keeping track of messages that come forth so you can look back and see the growth and evolution. And I think that is definitely a message for me. And if you don't work with cards, maybe you can write down, if you come to the channel every day, write down what is it that you felt? What was the message that you got out of my message? Ask the goddess for signs that she is with you and supporting you every day. A feather on the ground, a song at the perfect moment. Pay attention to your dreams. You could also keep a dream journal and just take note of little things. Like sometimes numbers. I see 444 a lot, or 1111, or 1023. That's another one for me. If you see things coming up all the time, then keep a little journal. It doesn't have to be a big one. I would almost recommend that it be a small one, so you can keep it with you and create like a journal of awareness is what I'm going to call mine. It'll deepen your ability to discern and communicate with spirit. Receive the gifts in store for you. So yeah, so that's beautiful. It's a very short thing. So the other thing that's here is 11, which is a number that comes up a lot for me. And this is green Tara, bringing in compassion and empathy. So the green Tara comes, she's a Buddhist goddess of compassion, and she is a refuge and comfort. So she helps us to act and to move forward in something by bringing in this compassion and kind of letting us know that we are more than we believe ourselves to be. So when we receive empathy, it's not like she's feeling sorry for us. It's like she's aware that through our life here on the planet, we have had shadow and we have had light. And so she's asking you to she's asking you to be aware of where you've been. And if you're afraid of something, it's because there's something that is still kind of shadowy within you, where something made you fearful, or something made you feel like you were vulnerable, or something made you feel victimized, or any number of things like that. And it's important for us to find out what it is, because when we bring light to any situation, we release it. We allow it to be seen and heard. So the more clarity that you have about who you are and what you're holding and why you have reactions to different things in your world, the more that you understand who you are, actually, the more clarity that you have about who you are, where you've been, what your road is. And then this card that was talking about all is not as it seems. It's funny because I'm not sure. I'm going to see if there's a card here. I'm not feeling this deck so much today. Oh, there is a card. Let's see what this is. This is card number 17. Really interesting. So I grabbed 2 decks that I don't use very often. So a 7 to me is around choices. It could be around things coming in. You can feel lucky. And it's you and how you take these options, these choices, these gifts, these luck that comes in. And it's interesting that this little girl is being gifted a story by this big old rabbit. And so all of these are almost like childlike. So one of the things that it said here is to be aware of your child's self, because that person is still part of you. And if there were things that were trauma that you experienced in your childhood, they're still part of you now. And the best thing that we can do is release them. And with the story time, it's reminding us that when we experience something as a child, we didn't have the same experiences, obviously, that we have now. So the story would have been different then than it could be now. And that's one of the reasons why we go back and revisit it. Because just like one of the ones that we saw earlier in the week, where the teddy bear was really big, right? It like she had made something bigger than it actually was. And sometimes that's what the stories are. There are 2 ways that I'm gonna offer this to you. One is that there are stories that we've been told that inform us, and they create who we are on some level. And they could be stories that really they're not relevant anymore. And that's kind of what I'm hearing, is that they're really not relevant. And then there are other stories that, another part of the message that we got this week about these goddesses and the energies, the sacredness of the divine feminine that's kind of been lost. But the stories are starting to resurface, and it's here to help us become empowered, whether you're male or female. It's helping the divine feminine wake up within you, because the divine feminine is the great creator. She's also the person that, like all these cards show, is that there is a connection with all things that we have lost when we lose the feminine. So I'm going to read a little bit more about what it says. It says here, settle down and let's continue reading the story. It has a special significance just for you. All the language of fairy tales and fables. So you must be quiet and listen. And I think that that's why this priestess of divination is coming out, is because everything is not as we have seen it to be. And I think that more and more, that's what's coming to light, is we're going to see these chaotic little, imp energies as they are. They're just things that don't know what to do with themselves. And they're just kind of floating around looking for something to attach themselves to. And they're nothing to be afraid of. Be aware of them and release them. Let them go. There are also these really divine, magical spaces that are part of us. That's what this is all about. So see the things for what they are. Notice wherever you feel vulnerable and where you need extra help. Because it's time to listen. It's time to listen to your inner child, to you, to the stories of the divine feminine that are coming out for us to hear. It says here, don't think about anything else. Just give your attention to the story that's being read to you in the moment. And it's asking you to look at what you've learned and what do you think the story is trying to teach you. Like who's the good one, who's the villain, and who's the king, who's the queen, who's the villain, who's the enlightened one. And let's ask for final information here. What a beautiful message here with everything. So that one just kind of fell out. Okay. And we have 3 more. So I think this will probably be it here for this reading for today. Okay. So the first thing we have here is the 7 of Swords. And this is about, so this is the way I'm going to interpret it and what I'm hearing about this message today. So we've had these experiences, we've listened to these stories, we've heard that we have magic and that things are not as they seem. And that it's important for us to understand our story, our childhood story, and what we're bringing forward, and be compassionate towards that story. And also to be open to other stories. So of course we're going to get the swords energy, which is all about air, the stories, the information that's coming in. And it's asking you to keep a log or a record, because so much is coming in. It's hard to remember all that. But it's important to be able to go back and to see where we've been and what is standing out. Are there messages that keep coming over and over and over again for us to see? And that's what the 7 is bringing in. It's options. It's asking you to take and consolidate the information that you have and leave the rest. I mean, he looks like he's tiptoeing away from the circus that's going on behind him, right? It's like he is taking what's important. So he's not believing everything, but he is taking what he needs, and then dive into what is that? What is the communication that you need right now? You don't need, anything that doesn't feel like it's important to you, leave it. That's what I'm hearing. So he's taking the information that's relevant to him, and this is related to you. So take the information with my readings, with everything going on. Keep a journal. Ask what's really going on. Something is being revealed to us. And that's really what I was hearing all week as well, that we have the magic to create. Sometimes we believe in these heavier, darker energies, and they're just little pesky things that don't matter. They only remind you that you feel on some level some sort of fear or disempowerment. So we have the sun here in the middle of the reading saying that there's an illumination, a great illumination that's coming to remind us of the light that we are. It brings happiness and illumination. The sun comes down and heats everything up. It also shines the light. It helps things grow. It creates with the earth a new awareness, and the sun is bringing a brighter day. Now, we have a lot of pentacles, which is, I think, one of the first times we've had pentacles all week. And this is the 6 and the 7, showing the natural progression of what happens when we kind of remind ourselves of the stories and who we are. That we are here not to be, takers of everything, that it's time for us to give back. That's what the 6 of Pentacles is about balancing out the things that we receive and the ability to give to others. And the reason why these people are kneeling is that we've all been here at one point or another where things have been less, where we have felt like we haven't had what we needed. And when we have what we do need, we can give to others. And then, like the patronage card yesterday, allow others to give to you when they have more. And then we have finally the 7, which is showing that you can look at what you have. And he's looking with, like, I made that, I created that. And that's what this time is asking. What have you created? What are you looking back at? What are you looking on? What is your day? Who are you? And that's where the journal is going to help us. We're going to be able to take a look at what are the things that are really standing out, what's important in a sea of information, in a sea of energies that are coming in. And it's all here to support us, to help illuminate who we are, so we feel more confident, more loving, more open, more welcoming to the world around us. So thank you so much for joining me here at the channel. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Until tomorrow, have a beautiful day. Bye now.